Hello everybody and welcome back to Getting Wrecked and Transport Fever. So we have finished the campaign and it's time to try the free game mode here. So I will try to play on hard and I will try to get the money pincher achievement, and the money pincher is not to take any loans on hard difficulty, if I remember correctly. So we will start in Europe. Have a large map, 1 to 3, medium, 1850 and hard. So 1850 is, I think, kind of hard to start because you only have horses and really bad trains, but we will have to make do, and then we can choose a difficulty, but we will go on hard. The difference is that easy will get you a lot of money for your transportation, and you will also have much cheaper loans, and hard is less loans, more expensive loans, and you will get less money from your transportations. And I will have a seed, Ola, that you can use if you want to have the same map as me. So let's start this game. So I haven't played too much free game. I just tried it out a bit. So it's kind of hard on the hardest difficulty to get a good start. But I will try to tell you how I think about it, how to do it. And we'll see if we make it. It will be a slow start though, so I will have to most likely fast forward quite a lot, because I will just use trucks in the beginning, because we will not have enough money to build any kind of train tracks, at least not train tracks long enough for us to make money in the long run. So, right, here we are in Europe. So, what we need to do is we need to find somewhere where we have raw materials being created close to a city, like this wood here. But wood doesn't really work. We need something that only needs one step in order to produce goods for a city. So we need oil or a farm. So we have a farm here, for example. No, it's a processing plant, alright. Can you find a farm? Nope. We can find some stone. Can you find a brick situation? Yes. So we have a materials plant here, and we have stone down here close to Whitchurch. So what I will do is that I would create a line for trucks to bring, for example, stone to a factory, and then the same trucks will bring bricks back to the city. So you can't have any trucks running empty on hard difficulty, not in the beginning at least. So you have to find a place where we have stone close to a city, or we have crude oil close to a city, or livestock close to a city. Because, yeah, like I said, we don't want to have our trucks running empty. And this place was pretty good, but I think it's a bit too close and it looks really like it's too much of a hill. Maybe not. But we will have these guys running quite a long way around here. We could make a road like this, but that's quite a long road. And we need to make things as cheap as possible, and that's why we are not going to make any trains, because we are trying to get by really cheap. And using the existing roads is a good way of doing that. So any other material like stone close to a city? We have a stone here close to new mills. this brick is... But again, if we run up here and then down to this city, we will have trucks going empty on this leg. So we have one leg here, that's good. We have one leg here, that's pretty good. But then we have an empty leg over here, which will not make us any money at all. We have some stone up here, that's not close to any city. We have like a farm down here, that's pretty good to new mills. So we could have food, or farm, food, city. Farm, food, city. We can have crude oil. There is no fuel, we have crude oil. We have a refinery down here, which is pretty useful. And we have refinery here as well. But no road between these locations. Right, so this looks pretty good because we have roads almost to the right direction, and I try to find a place that's kind of one screen apart like this, and this city is pretty big, so it can take a lot of fuel. So we will actually do this over here in Hungerford. So what we will do is that we will have a truck station somewhere around here. This should be fine. And we will find a place for a truck station somewhere around here. These guys will go down and get fuel down here. So I'm thinking about making some kind of shortcut. We could use a city, but then we need to connect over here somewhere. And if you connect this road, yeah, I think that's fine. So let's take a medium street here. I want to build as little as possible, but sometimes you have to spend money to make money. So that will be our drop off for the fuel, and then we will have a truck stop down here. One problem with having a refinery is that these guys, they tend to build oil first, or produce oil first, before they switch to fuel. But it shouldn't be the end of the world. Right, so let's have a depot. Back over here. And let's start with, let's have 3 different horses going from Hungerford to milk. So Hungerford, milk, and this is going to be oil and fuel, like that, and you will fully load in the first place, and I will repay half my debt here, because otherwise the investments or interest will cost us all our money. But I think I will keep the rest in order to get some more vehicles here. I will just wait until they actually start producing some crude oil here. Oh, by the way, I forgot the last station. You're supposed to drop off over here. They're actually already producing oil, are they? Nope. Right, so let's make a shortcut here as well. Medium street. Sure. Like that. Roads doesn't cost upkeep, so that's fine. So they will load crude oil up here, go down to the refinery, get fuel back here. So they will only run empty this short leg, could actually make even more of a shortcut here. Not sure if it's worth it, but let's try it. Let's get 3 more of these. And I will just try to saturate this. Why are you not going to the correct place? Silly horses. If I wait until you are behind this line, does this work? Right, good. Right, perfect. So I will expand on this line as fast as possible, but I will have to keep in mind that this city will only accept 53 fuel. Even a little bit less, because we have 2 industries outside of our catching zone here. Let's make 3 more. And I will have to tell them to turn around after this corner. Oops, that's wrong guy. He has turned back again. They're already building new industry here at my shortcut, so I will be running into trouble with traffic here later on, but oh well. That will be something for another day. Let's get some more. I think I will build for every single dime I have, because I don't think... Where did you go? Okay, you are an empty one. But yeah, because that will be hard to actually make something that pays for itself this early. So this is actually mostly about surviving, because we not only do we have to pay for the interest, we also have to pay the property maintenance, which is not the whole lot, but it actually adds up in the early game. Later on we will be whatever, it's nothing. But the thing is, the property maintenance is really low for truck stops and depots. This is what actually costs you if you use trains. The property maintenance for things like your stations will quickly escalate. Let's get these guys up and running. So now I think we are pretty set. How many do we have? How many vehicles do we have? 17? Alright. I think we can have more than 17 on this long line. But after that I will try to bring passengers here maybe, in order to expand. We could also use this brick, stone, brick, stone, brick, empty, or food from down here. So raw food, food to new mills, and then empty. But maybe I want to focus on Hungerford to get that one running. That city up and running first. Not really sure. I really hope I'm not oversaturating this line, but I think we should be fine. In the worst case we have to just if we make enough money, at least we could use these carts. If we get too many, we could use them on some other line, like the bricks of food down here. We have a food processing plant up here as well, but that's maybe too far from this farm at least. Yeah. That farm? Nope. This farm? But use this farm. I almost want to use New Milton and then go empty this small distance. Oh well. 3 more of these, and let's keep an eye on the frequency, because I'm not sure about this. I think the frequency for each year in this game is 12 minutes. So please correct me if I'm wrong. But if it's 12 minutes and we check the frequency, we check the money we are making. 10k, pretty solid. But as long as they are running empty the way back, we will not make any money really. The money we will make is when we actually start getting some fuel. But this guy is still just making oil instead of fuel, which is kind of bad. But anyways, what I was talking about, the frequency here. So I think 1 year is 12 minutes. So that would mean by this frequency that we have like 6 of these guys getting by each year, and each of these can carry 4 oil, so that should mean that we have a capacity of like 24 each year, and that means that we could use twice the amount of vehicles on this line. I hope so. Let's go crazy here, because we will lose this money soon anyways, because there's a new year coming up. Maybe I should buy, because we will have interest coming up here. I'm thinking if we should get vehicles for the money before we lose it. Nah, it's fine. We have still some money to go, so I don't want to run into where I have too many carts on this road, but still think this should be safe. I'm hoping. But when we have saturated this line, we have to do the same thing with new line. And that's most likely going to be these bricks or the food. I don't like the empty distance here. And we have to think about where to put our trains as well, because we need to have trains sooner or later. But I think what I will do, I would recommend you to not go too ham in the beginning. So I think what I will do is actually keep on expanding on this line until I feel like we are getting quite a lot of fuel to Hungerford. That should make it so there are a lot of works or jobs in Hungerford. So hopefully that could bring passengers for from another city. I was thinking which city I should connect with, and if I'm going to use passenger trains or not. So, well, here is an idea. If I use trains for passengers, where do I want them? Well, let's see. Hungerford is at 200 meters, 220 meters. This is 170, 150, 200. So this one is the one that will be easiest to make connection with trains. So my question is, do I have enough when will I have enough money to make train connection? Well, that will most likely take a while, but I would really like to have connection between these two because they are kind of the same height. And we also have a farm down here, so we can have this farm go up here, and this food going back to New Milton. So we could have the same train tracks for passengers and for the food. And that means I will have to if I make a bus connection for Hungerford, I will most likely use it for Melksham or New Mills. So that's my plan. My plan is to saturate this connection, and when possible I will connect Hungerford and Melksham. No, we have so many trucks there, so maybe I don't want to have passenger services on the same roads, because in the beginning at least these guys will have different top speeds. So I will connect New Mills and Hungerford with buses, or well, horse carriages, and then I will save money for a train connection with New Milton and Hungerford for both passengers and food. But this is, everything is quite a long way away. Like, first I need to make sure that I have enough money to replace these vehicles when they get old, because they will get old in 15 years, so that's only in 10 years. They have a lifespan of 15 years, these guys. You could argue that, well, you can have stagecoach bring passengers back and forth, because that should also make you money, since they are also providing services in both directions. But I think that passengers pay less or something than goods, maybe not, I'm not sure, but usually you can fit more passengers in the same tier of transportation. The bus can take more passengers, the train can take more passengers than cargo. So I'm thinking maybe the passengers pay less. Are we getting any fuel? We are. Good, good. Let's check the frequency. We have a frequency of almost 1 per minute. So I think we are kind of saturated. I will not expand on that line anymore right now. So the next thing will be making a connection Hungerford, Melksham, and then just save money in order to produce or pay back the rent or pay back the loans, and then later on I will replace the vehicles, and then there is a train to be built. Alright, so I decided to make new mills for connection, because like I said before, I don't really want to combine passenger services with on the same road as my transportation, since they will most likely have different top speeds. So we will have Hungerford new mills here instead. So Hungerford mills, passengers, and maybe this will not make money. It's very much possible. I have had a hard time getting passenger services to actually make me money in the beginning. But this is mostly because I really want to get some passengers here, so maybe the industry grows more, so I can expand and bring even more fuel. So my hope is that this guy will actually at least break even. So that would be kind of helpful. Let's check if our calculation is correct here. So we have frequency, let's say this is 1 every minute. So we have frequency of 1 every minute, which means 12 per year, which would mean with this capacity is that would be like 48. And we have 33 here, so it's not totally correct, that calculation. I guess the frequency is a bit lower than 1 per minute, so not sure how to calculate this, if it's even possible. And some of them are running empty as well, I have seen, so not everyone has. There are still some being stored here, I think, or well, some have been stored here. So I'm not totally sure. And here we have some passengers waiting, 1 passenger. Yeah. I will have 1 more stagecoach, just in case, even if I feel like this is just going to lose me money. Let's at least try to make it happen. And get a couple more for the oil and fuel shenanigans. I think I will expand until 1860. Because then I will have to save my money for upgrades or building new horses. Buying new horses. I am kind of interested in making a shortcut here. But it's pretty far. So it will cost me like at least 100,000. I'm not sure if it's worth it. Let's check how much it costs to just make it like this. 200 from down here. Yeah. I mean, we can make it for 100 most likely, but I'm not sure if it's really going to be worth it, like I said. One thing to note here is the loan interest is 17,000 each year. That's quite a lot. And how about our lines? Making like 2,000 each year per vehicle. So it's actually almost just enough or just as much money to repay the loan. That's almost more effective than having more of our vehicles, so almost. But I think that repaying the loan might be a good way of doing this, repaying it as early as possible, because your vehicles are not effective enough this early to make you so much money. I really don't like the fact that they are running empty back. I don't want to have it fully loaded either, because then maybe some will get stuck down here. If the mod in Hungerford goes down. It's possible. But it looks like a frequency of 1 per minute would be pretty good. We have 60% fulfillment here. I'm so tempted to build more. One thing to notice when we get our next tier of road vehicles, which might also be a good reason why you don't want to get any more horse wagons after a certain point, because you will want to have you want to upgrade these guys later until something better, and I'm not sure when you get the next horse wagon, but I feel like it's at 65 or something, or no, maybe it's a bit later actually. But yeah, so you could also argue that you just should wait until you have a better trucks, and you shouldn't even replace these guys before that. But the thing is, when you upgrade these to better trucks, you will quickly get a lot more capacity from these guys. So then suddenly you will be overproducing fuel, and your trucks will start losing money. That's the case for when you might want to bring some of the production to Malixham or something, or you just replace these, like, how many are these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's like 40 of these, so maybe you want to only have 35 on the next tier. Something to think about. But I will most likely not get trains for quite a while. I will most likely want to repay back at least. I want to upgrade or replace my trucks and repay the loan, and then I will go for trains, I think. Alright, it's 1860 and we are making ourselves a bunch of cash. Like I said, I will stop creating more vehicles now. So we have 43 trucks and 4 buses. Everything is making money, so we could expand on these guys, but I will wait to pay back the loan or replace the vehicles, whichever comes first. I guess they will kind of come at the same time. One thing to note is that if I choose to replace all my trucks, for example, I would like to have them all being replaced about the same time, so I know that everyone is kind of new until we get the next tier of transportation, which shouldn't be too far away. I would be surprised if it's later than 1870. So you could argue for having these guys go until they are 20 years, even if they will cost quite a lot in upkeep. It might be worth it instead of changing them twice. So we will see about that. If I don't have the money because I paid back the loan, I will maybe just wait for the next tier so we can get some good old faster horse wagons. I'm not sure how the horse wagons get faster, but one might think that the horse wagons should be more about the roads than what kind of wagons they are carrying or pulling, but I guess there are some changes that can be done to make the horses run faster. Better carrots or something. Alright guys, so we have 500k. Do we want to repay it now? Well, so this is how I see it, that sure, we can make more money by building stuff. Because, well, if we couldn't make money, if we can't make more money than the interest, then we wouldn't be in this place where we actually can pay back the loans. But you have to realize that the vehicles will have to be replaced soon as well. So everything you are making is not only profit. You will have to replace the vehicles. And we have to pay this back before the next year if we want to save on the loan interest. So I'm thinking I will pay this back because one reason and one reason only, and that is that this is guaranteed. If we pay back this money, we will guarantee lower the cost by, I think, 15k the next year. So I think that's a pretty good deal. So that's it. Now we only have 200k in loan. That's a pretty good position we are in. We might have a hard time replacing the vehicles though. So they will start running out of juice in 1 year. Well, you start a bit, I think a couple of months into 1850. So a couple of months into 1865 we will have to replace the vehicles. So we will have to decide then if we want to get everyone with this good old horse wagon, or if we want to wait until we have better alternatives. So anyways, I think this episode has been going on too long enough. I hope you enjoyed it, even if I know it's as boring as watching paint dry, just watching these horse wagons going back and forth to this refinery. But I think this is the way you have to start a hard 1850 start if you don't want to borrow any more money. If you want to borrow money, by all means go ahead and borrow in order to make a good train. Maybe that works. I haven't tried it. But even if you do something like that, I would recommend that you do a line that actually gets to use both directions. Like use this farm to get to this processing plant and then go back to New Milton with the food. So livestock down here, food to New Milton, and then empty a short distance here. That should give you a really good profit if you can afford to place it in the beginning. But avoid having any empty trucks, empty trains. That it doesn't work on hard, at least not in the beginning. So that's it for today, and I will try to make these at least once every other day. So we will go forward slow and steady through the times, and hopefully we can create a great empire, and most importantly actually make the money pincer achievement. So let's check it out if we can find it here. So transport shark, money pincher, I can't find it. So where is it? Penny pincher? No, penny pincher in hard mode. Don't take any additional loan until the year 2000 in hard mode. So this is what we are going for, penny pincher in hard mode. Maybe we get some achievements on the way, but anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you again next time. Goodbye.